In this property, we're transforming this home into a sixplex. We have 5 units in the main building, and wait until you see the massive 1,300 square foot garden suite that we're building at the back. When it comes to the main building, each floor is about 1,100 square feet each. We have 3 floors plus a basement, so total gross floor area is 4,400 square feet. And then the garden suite is about 650 square feet per floor. So total is 1,300 square feet for the garden suite. So the total amount of living space in this property is about 5,700 square feet. We're in the High Park neighborhood. I'd say a lot of the houses in High Park are larger lots and they have wider houses. So they just tend to have bigger floor plates than other neighborhoods. So naturally, over time, even if it was not legal, let's say informally, people were kind of dividing them up into different size apartments because it was just too much home for maybe the average family to need. The area, like this particular street we're on, has a lot of multiplexes even before these new bylaws came into place. But I'd say they're more like duplexes, triplexes. This area now has been upzoned to allow for sixplexes plus a garden suite, so up to 7 units. So this is just further upgrading the home to add more units and has more rent potential and just taking advantage of the existing backyard space, right? Huge backyard. It wasn't fully being utilized. So by adding that garden suite, it's just, again, taking advantage of that space. This particular client that invested in this property found us on YouTube, and one of their main reasons for reaching out was their interest in multiplexes in Toronto. So they jumped on a call with us. We talked about, the ways you could invest in multiplexes. It could be conversion, it could be new build. Ultimately, they found that the conversion strategy was the best first step into the investing space. And this property in particular was a great candidate because it already had a couple existing units. So it's just about refreshing them and then renting them out. Also, with this upzoning allowing for up to 7 units, they could further optimize the existing property, add more units, add more rental income, and then it had the further value add of the garden suite, building that brand new in the back. The front here, I want to highlight how this will be fully upgraded and modernized. The siding that's kind of beige here will be black. All the windows are going to be changed. The porch is going to be rebuilt, and the red brick is just going to be refreshed, but we're going to fully keep that. So in that way, that red brick, black siding, a little bit of modernization will match with the garden suite aesthetic. We just walked through the front door. This used to be a shared common hallway that connected to the existing stair that brought you to the upper units. Now we've split the ground floor into 2 units. We have a front unit here. It's a 1-bedroom. And then we have a dividing wall and we have a rear unit at the back that's also 1 bedroom. So now fitting on this floor is 2 1-bedroom units. So we have this corridor off to the side that will connect to the existing stairway. That will be a shared common stairway for the 2nd and 3rd floor units. There will be a brand new rear staircase at the back, which will be providing a second exit for those units. Right now, we're in the rough-in stages. We have some new beams that really opened up this space. And then we have the framing for the new partition walls. And then the electricals being roughed in. We have the plumbing roughed in and the HVACs being roughed in. We have sound installation being put in between the floor joists. And then we have resilient channel. You can see it through the floor. This is where there used to be an existing wall, and that's where the floor stopped. And the wall went all the way up here. That's been replaced with an LVL beam. That opens up the space, so now this full width of the house can be utilized for the 1-bedroom apartment. This used to be essentially wasted space because it was just a big hallway. Now we've kind of optimized it by having a hallway straight off to the side, so we could reclaim that space, use it as living space for this front 1-bedroom apartment. This is the 2nd floor unit. Just gonna add some laundry, refresh some things. This was like one of the existing units, so more or less just keeping it the way it is. We're standing here on the 3rd floor. There was an existing apartment here. This is basically just getting a refresh. The layout is staying the same. It's a 1-bedroom, has a 1-bathroom, and the kitchen used to be here. So we're just gonna put in a brand new kitchen. They're going to install air conditioning as well, and then refreshing the bathroom, so that'll just be a cosmetic reno. So everything on the 3rd floor is essentially cosmetic. In terms of what we've done is just ensure that the exiting meets the current building code. So you'll notice that we went up a shared stairway that goes to both the 2nd and 3rd floor unit. So because they're shared, we have to provide a second exit. So eventually there'll be a brand new staircase at the back. So that will provide a second means of egress for this unit as well. So means of egress is essentially your pathway from any point in the floor plan to your way out. So the means of egress includes the exit, and exit being a door. Like one of the main things we're helping our clients through is determining the the required exits, making sure that's up to code. Sometimes it can be very confusing, but the general rule is you can have one dedicated exit per unit. If there's any shared exits between units, you need to provide a second. If there's ever any uncertainty, we can help you through it and find the appropriate solutions for that. For this project specifically, we did a full tender package and we're staying on for contract admin. One of the common misconceptions is as the architect, you just need us for the building permit and then you can just work with the drawings. But so much happens on site, especially with century homes, unexpected conditions. So that's where we really recommend having us on board for some of our extended services during construction so that we can help you troubleshoot whether, again, it's like a condition that was unexpected after demolition, or if an inspector is bringing up an issue that we can then help solve. That's where we really can come in and help the project run more smoothly and keep it going. So in a project like this involving a sixplex, you're going to be involving architectural. A lot of that includes exiting, fire safety, life safety, structural work, opening up new structural walls, beams, mechanical, so that's HVAC and plumbing, and then all the drain work as well. So in terms of that scope, how it translates to permits, you'll have a building permit that combines architectural and structural. You'll have an HVAC permit, plumbing permit, then you'll also have drains as part of that as well. And then separately from the building department, there's also an electrical permit, but typically that's pulled by your electrical engineer. We don't actually have to do any drawings. So you're standing here in the basement. It used to be essentially a 2-bedroom apartment, but in the process of this project, we're fully legalizing this basement apartment. We have a brand new basement entry. There's going to be a bathroom here. Kitchen's going to remain in the same place, so they're going to be able to keep the existing rough-ins more or less in place. And then lastly, there has an existing mechanical room at the back, and that's where the boiler, water tank, that will be situated. Again, using a lot of the existing infrastructure and really just legalizing the basement apartment into a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. This is the almost 1,300 square foot garden suite, about 650 on the ground floor, 650 on the second floor, 3-bedroom, 3 full bathrooms. So it's a full-on house in the backyard. This was just a grass little hill and it was otherwise underutilized. In terms of the layout, we have a main bathroom and then we have the kitchen, living room, and then eventually this will be framed up and we'll have the kind of bedrooms and bathrooms on the second floor. Sometimes we have to add a little hack in to fit a second floor, but for this property, we had a really large backyard, so we were able to meet the setback requirements between the main house and the garden suite. It's about 25 feet that's required before you can build a second story. So in terms of the exterior aesthetic for the garden suite, we're trying to match a lot of the existing materials on the main building. Usually as like the architects, we're sharing different design options for our clients to see. So we'll share at least 2 to 3 material options of how the facade can look. We typically will share something that's simpler. We try to be sensitive to the existing material palette, but also like the personal preferences of our client, right? So if they like a more modern aesthetic compared to like more traditional, we try to cater our design and options to what they like to see. Ultimately, it comes down to cost, personal preference, maybe also the limitations of zoning. Sometimes we get a question of, can you just use the exact same design here versus the other one? Well, this has a very different site condition than a very flat piece of land. So the design of the foundation is going to be different than a piece of land that's totally flat. When it comes to foundation design, there's so many different options. Ultimately, it starts with us to share with you what options you have for your foundation. So in terms of permits, it took about 3 months in terms of the design process, getting all the drawings done, submitting it for permit, and then getting it issued by the city. This is pretty normal when it comes to permit review times for these slightly larger multiplex conversions. First, we get the zoning certificate done, so we can put together drawings, show our design, get it through the zoning to get that cleared, make sure that everything is as of right. We don't want to go through a minor variance process. After we get the zoning certificate, we then submit for building permits, and then that has a separate review time with examiners in the city. So overall, 3 months is pretty normal for a project like this. Rarely do you get a building permit issued right away, like after one submission, but I'd say like 1 or 2 rounds of revision is pretty normal. I think because we so regularly submit, I get the sense that they just understand how our drawing packages work together. So there's a familiarity of like, you know, they've seen BuildX Design's drawings, they've gone through them. Our edges, specifically that we've done so many multiplex projects that the examiners at this point know how we put the packages together. We know the specific solutions that will get you through and get you the building permit issued. And yeah, it's not the same as just the custom home. There's a lot of specific details and solutions when it comes to the building code that are important to get right the first time so that you make sure that you can get your building permit issued fast. So there you have it. It's an in-progress tour of our latest Sixplex project. 5 units in the main building and a brand new garden suite in the back. 1,300 square feet. And if you like projects like this, stay tuned as we have so many different projects like this going on. So keep in touch with our YouTube page, follow along, and catch you on the next one.